Okay, so we are on Lakeville. It's me and Chris, both rocking the T29s, and we're gonna pause it for starters. There we go. Now, the thing about Lakeville and the T29 is that most heavies would go city, but there's not a great deal of cover that lets a T29 go hull down. So what we decided to do is we're going to go take the valley on the west side of the map. Now, the valley is kind of a trap for heavier tanks.
Let's get this show
in
on
that
the road.
it's narrow, it's kind of a corridor, the ground resistance is awful, and oops, okay, I got in my way there. And it really bogs you down. Once you're in, you're committed. There's no coming back from the valley. You're going to see what happens when you allow a T29, fantastic tier 7 heavy tank, to go hull down against a team here. So Chris is with me recording.
Yep.
And he's going to go right, I'm going to go left. And we're going to give you a little play-by-play here as we go. I'm going to turn off the free camera here so that you can kind of see what we see as we run it. Now, you can see where the ground resistance really bogs you down. Like, this tank usually can travel at about 30 kilometers on flat, even ground, no problem, but really slows going up this hill here. And our first encounter is with the IS-6. The IS-6 has really great angled armor. You can see both of us bounce our first shells. I think
This is where you take your first hit.
the guy behind us, yeah. Well,
Nope, not that.
put one into his mantle, or his mantlet, sorry, and we move up. We do have some support fire from Pershing and an IS-3, but you're going to see in a second they leave us. It becomes a two-man show.
Well, the Pershing leaves. The IS-3 dies.
Right. There's my first shot. That was right into the top of my tank, kind of a soft spot there. Chris pulls up.
And I'm out in the open. Not giving a single damn, but just staying back enough on that hill, I only leave my turret exposed, and there's no way in hell they're going to pin that.
Well, and thankfully in this map, no artillery.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a caveat to this battle right here and how going hull down works, is that there's no artillery to bother us. So you're gonna watch this IS-6 pretty much flail and cry trying to damage us, but the 290, I want to say 397 millimeters of frontal armor on the turret,
Something crazy.
nothing's getting through. We're gonna bully this team. You see, there's two Su-100Ms, Soviet tank destroyers, KV-3 Soviet heavy tank, and an IS-6 Soviet heavy tank. So
A lot of firepower.
the Americans versus the Russians on this this valley here, and they are really going at it trying to get us. Missed my other shot in the Su-100M. You're gonna watch a lot of us. I mean, keep an eye out for bounces off of our turrets. Now there is kind of a catch on the T29. It is almost invincible if it goes hull down and exposes only its turret, and that is the commander's cupola. I'm gonna go free mode for a second and indicate on Chris's tank where it is. You can see that little hatch on the top there. That's a soft spot that you kind of have to be wary of. But even at this angle, you can see it's a very angled surface they'd have to hit, and it's more than likely to bounce. So, go back into fixed mode.
And the turret is so long, it creates enough of a block to protect that couple,
Exactly.
especially at this angle.
And the real saving thing is that The T29 gets, I want to say 9 or 10 degrees of gun depression, which allows it to shoot over these hills through this grass here. This IS-6 is getting frustrated. You can see, how the hell is high explosive doing no damage? And the fact is, I finish him off. High explosive will generally do damage unless there's so much armor that it can't. To say that 300 millimeters, or roughly 300 millimeters, means that high explosive shells, no matter their diameter, will not, well, I should say no matter their diameter, not from the IS-6, will not damage T29 head on.
Really, the selling point of the high explosive is just that they increase the critical damage.
Yeah.
So if you can get into a situation where the high explosive will pen the tank, it's gonna kill your driver and your commander, and it's gonna damage your
modules.
Yeah, everything.
We finish off the SU-100M1, and now it's 2 versus 2. Now it's... And these guys have got to be shaking in their boots, because they've been pouring shells into us with very little result. I get hit by the KV-3 and he breaks my gun, so I'm assuming he hit me with high explosive. But fix that with my toolkit, and I'm back in it. Almost good as new. And the KV-3, I think, is almost exclusively spamming high explosive at this point. I think he hits Chris for 58. He's pretty much given up on armor pen. Bounce off and just double which again, the tricky thing is generally a weak point if you're face on, but the angle we're at, it might have been a little bit of a situation.
I have to have really high pin to even get into the cup.
I bounce off of his frontal plate, thinking I could go through the viewport, but again, this angle is going to make, 200 frontal armor more like 250, and it can be a little tricky. So, finally, found another one. He turns my driver with high explosive. I think this is where Chris puts on in his lower plate. And I sense blood in the water, so gets hit again for 126, a high explosive shell, and now it's finish time. Right to the lower plate, Chris finishes him off. And finally there's one guy left here. And our team has taken the town on the east side. So this game is in the bag.
So we did our job. We simply held the line.
Exactly.
We bottlenecked and just kept the team from advancing and getting behind the rest of the guys in the city.
I'll give the IS-3 half credit. 2.5 tanks held out against 4, and actually won the side. You can see we pushed through.
There was nothing else up here for us to
Yeah,
win.
that's how you do it. That is pull down T29 mechanics the way they're supposed to be done.
Now, we haven't played a lot of this map coming from the other side. Just Map Maker hasn't been very fortunate to us.
Right. But, I mean, you can see. 2,300 damage. I had 3 kills. Chris had a kill. That's 4 total. And a pretty handy 15-7 win. So, T29. Very, very strong turret. And a good gun. So, remember, kids, next time you're rocking your American heavies, go hold down and just punish the other team. And we will catch you next time.
Thanks for watching.